Welcome to the Conversation Corner of EIM, the European Institute of Management. Today with me, Dr. David. David, you recently finished and completed your PhD. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What is the topic?
So the PhD is in management. My topic was on executive education.
Executive education.
Correct.
Interesting.
Taking leaders from industry, bringing them back, reskilling, upskilling, closing a gap from when they were at university to when they ascended into upper management or into the C-suite.
Well, learning never stops.
Lifelong learning.
Fantastic. And there's a lot done wrong, I guess, as well on the way?
Yes.
You found out how to do it better?
Yes. A lot of research, a lot of sleepless nights, but a very rewarding experience overall.
Fantastic. So what was your motivation to choose this topic, this subject matter?
So I was fortunate enough to attend 3 of the top executive education programs in the world.
Oh.
I graduated from Oxford Business School, Harvard Business School, and Tsinghua University in Beijing, China. And attending those courses, I noticed there were gaps in the learning and the experience and the outcome. And so as I decided to pursue a PhD, it was a natural jump to look at the research. And in looking at the research, I saw that there were a lot of gaps. And I thought that I can contribute to that and come up with a new methodology to help leaders from industry that are coming back to university.
So we could say from your own experience, observations, on your own expectations, they were not really fulfilled as you would have hoped to.
Correct.
And with an aim for excellence.
Yeah, so additionally, I'm a CEO of a corporation. And so, when we look at deploying capital, we look at ROI, return on investment, not just in terms of dollars, but in terms of what we derive. And so, I had high expectations in going to executive education, and unfortunately, it did not rise to the level where I thought the experience was rewarding. It felt like something was missing, and so that brought me to the literature. And in reading the literature, I noticed that other researchers had also identified the same thing. So I wanted to conduct a study. And this was really the impetus for...
So really we're hitting a nail on the head where it hurts the companies when they invest in training and don't get value for the money.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Really interested in that topic. So, key findings.
So the key findings, in executive education, as a participant, they have you a lot of times at the end of your journey fill out a survey.
Yeah.
Now you would think the survey is to try and improve the program, but at the end of the day, it's the professor standing over you saying, we really need you to fill out the survey. It's for our rankings in Financial Times or our rankings in Forbes magazine. And so, most of the cohorts when they're in class are giving it 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. What was a revelation is when I conducted my study, and the study encompassed 30 cohorts that had graduated from executive education programs, then they were not in a classroom. It wasn't with a professor over them. They were just a participant number in a study, completely anonymous. They were very free-flowing in their experience, their thoughts, their expectations, and this study was able to derive some very rich content, and that's really what executive education should be doing. Asking the cohorts their real experience, but in an anonymous way, so they could actually improve the process, the curriculum, the ROI, the outcome for the student.
So you were able to lift up the lid, look inside, and identify what's truthfully in there, to then improve.
To a point, without being biased, and that's why you conduct the study. So you never let your own prejudice get in the way of what your thoughts are.
Okay.
And doing a full study, you're not biased. You're really an observer, and you're getting data. And that data, you're extrapolating findings. In my study, I was able to create a new conceptual framework for executive education.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. Say, you point out to a degree a solid scientific rigor in your approach.
Correct.
Is that what EIM stands for, the European Institute of Management?
It is. So as lay people, we think, we have intuition, we have a feeling.
Yeah.
In going to EIM, you learn that the process of attaining a PhD is really about the science, the data science, the rigor, rich findings, anonymity, taking yourself out of what you think and letting the data speak for you.
Interesting. And coming from a CEO, a battle-proof applicant of knowledge, theory very often is looked down upon in practice. So you're actually saying theory is important to put into practice better, or to improve practice?
Yeah, the combination of the two. Because, entrepreneurs, being an entrepreneur, every entrepreneur has a lot of ideas.
Yeah, sure.
And you think every idea is a winner. Every idea that you have is you're gonna hit it out of the park.
Yes.
In going through a PhD course and in looking at the research, you realize for most entrepreneurs, probably 80-90% of their ideas are not great ideas. But to the entrepreneur, nobody's going to tell you the idea is not a good idea.
Sure.
To you, it's the greatest idea in the world. And so in doing the research and the data science, quantitative, qualitative, you're then able to take an idea that you have as an entrepreneur, peel back the layers, and looking at it from different angles. And so the combination of the gut feeling of an entrepreneur, the intuition, and combining that with the rigor, the deep science, the research, you just become a better leader.
Wow, very insightful. Thank you. Now, on this journey that you had with the international global experience in executive education, you then chose EIM, European Institute of Management, coming from America. Old Europe.
So EIM has been great because of the flexible format. I live in Las Vegas, and so the ability to adjust my schedule with the school to be able to finish my assignments was one of the facets for me. The other is the professors that are there. They have deep knowledge. You're able to have open and free-flowing conversations, as opposed to a lot of other universities where it's a traditional professor and student. At EIM, I found that it was more almost peer-to-peer. Of course, the professor is over you and they're the one teaching you, but it's a better experience. Coming as a CEO, I'm not the traditional 20-something, early 30-something PhD student. So you're a little bit older, the professors are in that same age range, and it's more of a peer experience. And so that was a huge benefit and one of the factors in the choice.
Okay, fantastic. So all in all, how did you manage? I mean, CEO traveling globally from business meeting to business meeting, from branch to branch.
Right.
What did you do your research on the plane, or how did you manage?
No, EIM really works with you. They work with your schedule, and it was very conducive to what I was looking for.
Wow. Well, David, thank you very much for sharing your experience, your journey. We're looking forward to hear more of you, how you put the theory into practice in your further, entrepreneurial activities. Thank you very much for having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
David.
it.
All the best.
Thank you. Good?
That's great.
Okay. You didn't ask me what's next.
Oh, yeah.